Good evening, everybody. Hopefully, I don't know what's happening. It is just par for the course. The last week has been a complete blur, and it looks like it's continuing. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to your Tuesday evening Facebook Live. My name is Sarah Edwards. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I come to you guys live every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 to show you a fun new project. So hopefully now we are good. I was actually hooked up to the house Wi-Fi, not the craft room Wi-Fi, so that's why there was a bit of a glitch. So sorry about that. If you're just logging on, say hi so I know you're here. Hopefully you guys are all ready for Thanksgiving on Thursday. Here in the U.S., we are celebrating Thanksgiving on Thursday. So today I had Lucas. Well, Bo and I had Lucas yesterday and today. So between taking care of him, I was able to start the pumpkin stuffing that takes a couple days to make, and then I went to start the 24-hour salad, and I realized I used all the eggs for the stuffing, so Bo had to go to the store. And then when he came back home, I started to make it and realized that he threw away all of my lemons that were squeezed in the freezer. So now he has to go back to the store to buy me some lemons. So it was his fault. He threw them away. He should have asked me, right? But anyway, hopefully you guys are having a good day. Hello, Valerie, Lisa, Bev, good evening. So my plan last week was to get a gift card class together, and I'm sure many of you know that last week was not my week at all. I got sick, and it literally knocked me out for the entire week. I'm still a little wobbly and not quite there. I'm really not there all the time, but that's a different story. But I am feeling better. So hopefully this week I can get out here and get into my pre-order that is still sitting on my table that arrived last Wednesday. Oh, it's just been a hot mess. But anyway, let me scoot you over and we will start crafting. Let me turn on one more light just so the glare is not as bad. So if you haven't officially gotten all of your Christmas stuff, I wanted to do a gift card. It's a fun fold gift card using this set. Sorry, I'm just trying to get it up on the iPad, and hopefully it is going to be working in a second. Okay, there. I think it's working. So it's the Snowman Magic. It's on page 44 of your mini catalog. And it is so fun and so cute. So I wanted to do a card with it tonight. Let me bring in the stamp set and the dies that go with it. I love, it's the magical time. It's the most magical time of the year. I love, love, love that saying. I actually didn't use it on this card, which I probably should have, but I love that saying. But I love the snowman, and you can stamp his face on, or you can die cut his face to put it on. He has his little nose and eyes and mouth, and then you can make his little hands. It is such a fun set. So this, it reminds me of like a gun. I know I probably shouldn't say that, but it's actually his scarf. But every time I play with that, that's what I think of. And his cute little hat. And here is his body. So we have in the catalog, it's called Snow Paper. And I know it's not going to do justice showing it on the Facebook Live, but it's kind of like super soft on the one side, so it's not just our normal cardstock. This is what I did a bunch of these little snowmen out of, is the little snow paper. And that's what I cut him out. And then I used these little stars, and I used the tree. So I have gotten a lot of use out of this stamp, and he is so stinking cute. Okay, there's that. Let me bring in the card. Okay, so let me pull up. It finally showed up, so let me see if I can pull it up and I can see comments. Yes, hello, Carol, Jessica, Teresa. Good evening. Thank you for joining me. So here is tonight's card. I really wished we had our black glimmer paper, and I was going to use the Halloween black strips that we have, the washi tape, but it's no longer available to order, so I didn't want to get everybody's hopes up to get it, so I just used our, the green glimmer paper. I literally just love Evening Evergreen glitter paper, and that's what I did the trees out of as well. And then when you open it up, your gift card is on the inside. I honestly don't know if there's $5 on this Subway gift card. It has been in my craft room for a long time, and I'm never at Subway, so I have no idea. And even if I was, it would be here and not in my purse. So no clue what's on here, but any gift card can go in there. And then you have a place to write your sentiments. Or you could stamp that it's the most wonderful time of year on the inside. So that is what we're going to make tonight. So let me bring in all the pieces that we're going to need. So I have our card base, and this is 5.5 by 4.25. So this is just our normal thick basic white, and you can get 4 out of one sheet if you cut it this way. So it's 5.5 by 4.25. And then our designer series paper is 4 by 5.25. So it's just going to layer right on top. I am going to go ahead and glue that down. Yes, Bev the snowman is so stinking cute. I can't even stand how cute it is. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this piece down. And you probably are thinking there is no piece to score, and you are correct, because this is going to be the base of our card, and then we're going to do a little bit of scoring on another piece. So I just want to bring in, I have all the die cut pieces sitting on top of this one, so I don't want to drop it. So this piece of our regular basic white is 9 inches long by 4 inches wide. You know what? I'm wondering if it's 4.25. Hold on. I think it might be 4.25. Oh, no, it is 4. I was right. So hopefully I wrote it correct in the descriptions. So it's 9 inches by 4 inches. And we're going to score this in 2 spots. So I'm going to bring in my scoring tool, or my scoring board, and my scoring tool. And I'm going to score this at 3 inches and 6 inches. So that is it. And then we are going to fold and give it a good crease. Just make sure your edges are lined up. And then I'm going to come over here and fold this one back over. Actually, let me do it this way. A little bit easier for me. Give that a good crease. And now we have our gift card mechanism. Actually, we have to fold it the other way, but that's okay. You'll eventually get it. So now we have our mechanism. So we will glue this down, but we're going to do a couple things before. I have the die that comes with the snowman set. It wasn't in the original set that I showed because I had it out because we're going to be using it. But this does come with it. And it has lots of amazing little snowflakes all over it, and they're so gorgeous. And I just cut a piece of Pacific Point to match the size of the die. So all I did is I just took my ruler and I measured the die. So it's 3 1/8 inches wide by 4 7/8. I know everybody hates those 8ths and 16ths and all of that. I swear I do too. But it was super easy to cut this one, especially if you have this amazing ruler. And we are going to die cut this. But before I do, there's a couple steps to this bad boy. I brought in a piece of our adhesive sheets because these little pieces are so tiny that I just felt it was a little bit easier to have an adhesive sheet on the back of it. So I cut the adhesive sheet the same size as I cut the designer series paper. So I'm just going to fold this back. This is a side that's not sticky. You can see it kind of pulled up a little bit right there, which is totally okay. So I'm just going to crease that down so I have part of the stickiness sticking up. And I'm just going to come in and line it up to the edges. Hopefully I can see this right because my camera is right in the way. So now I'm going to press that down. And as I pull this down, I'm just going to slide my adhesive sheet down. This helps it where it doesn't get all cattywampus. Give that a good crease so it is nice and attached. And now when we run this through, it will be self-sticky on the back. So let's do that really quick. Let me get this out of the way so I don't smash anything. Bring in the embossing machine. This is actually a great Christmas present as well. So if you don't own one and you want one for Christmas, you can send me your friends or significant others information and I can get in touch with them. And this might be wrapped under your tree. Okay, so now let me stop talking about that. I'm going to go ahead and line this up. And I am going to flip this upside down. I don't know why, but with some of our dies, when they're super tiny pieces like that, I like to run it upside down. I think it cuts a little bit nicer. It could be all in my head too. Who knows? So I'm going to run this through, and I'm just going to run it one more time just to make sure I got everything. Let me get this out of the way so it's not going to fall. And then I'm going to bring this in, and I'm going to pop the center out. So that is the big centerpiece, and everything else is left on the inside. So I'm just going to gently pull it out. There we go. It's wanting to work its way out. There we go. And all of your most of the pieces are left in here. And what I do is I just bang it on the side of my table and all the pieces come flying out so you don't have to sit and poke all of them. That's just a little tidbit too. I did cut quite a few of these already for another project I was working on and it worked perfect. So I'm just going to take what didn't come out and use my poker tool. Get those out. Wasn't too bad. Perfect. Okay, so now here is where the magic happens. This is a little bit too big for our piece for our gift card holder, but it's totally okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up, and I'm going to come up here and snip right at actually, I'm going to do it this way. That's how I did my original one. I'm going to come up here, I'm going to line it up, and then I'm just going to snip right there at the corner. And I know you're probably thinking, what in the world is she doing? But I promise it will totally turn out. So I'm going to snip that, and I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to snip right here at the corner. Excuse me. So now I can come in and peel this off. Oh, little piece stuck. Here we go. And I'm going to set this right there. Excuse me. So sorry, I might need to get a drink. And this is not as hard as it looks, but I'm really trying hard not to cough. Let me get a drink, sorry. Okay, hopefully that'll work. So there we go. And there's a tiny piece hanging off, so I'm just going to come in and trim that. Perfect. And now I am going to line this up at the bottom. I'm going to come over here and trim right at that edge. And I'm going to actually leave this part for a second. Oh, sorry, hold on. That's what I did. I'm going to trim right here. So now I'm going to go ahead and glue this piece down. And I could have made my paper a little bit bigger, yes. You're probably saying, why didn't you just make your paper bigger? Because our score marks and stuff would have been a little bit more cattywampus, and I thought this was actually easier. So that was my thinking. So here we go. So I'm going to trim this piece off. And maybe if I made a ton of these, I would trim it down a little bit. So now that is going to go there. And we're going to trim this. So I literally just trimmed it to fit. And honestly, you can't even tell that I did that. So I'm going to peel this off. I'm so sorry. I have no idea why I have a tickle in my throat. There we go. Sorry, let me get another drink. I've never had this happen for a Facebook Live. Maybe it's because I'm still trying to get over being sick. So there you go. There you have it. That is our beautiful piece that will eventually turn into this. And it was a little wonky to put together, but I thought it was super cute that we had to do it. So now I'm going to flip this over and put some tear and tape on the back. And I really like using tear and tape for 3D items, and I definitely would consider this to be a 3D item. Okay, hopefully all of my coughing is over now. I don't feel that tickle anymore. So now, and the nice thing is you can kind of use the lines in this paper to line this up. Hopefully I did that right. So there you go. There is your little mechanism. I will give you a little tidbit about the snowman. Let me bring all these little tiny pieces in. So with your snowman, I would suggest putting your snowman together before you stamp his face. I did make quite a few of these, and I found that was the easiest for me not to get his face too low or too high and kind of get it centered. So that's just a little tidbit if you have this set or if you don't have it and you want to get it. So I'm going to put his little scarf on, or his little gun. Doesn't it kind of look like a little gun? Put a scarf on around his neck, and then let me bring in his little face. And I just use mementos. And if you don't need this card right away, I would go ahead and stamp your snowman face and just sit and let it dry. It doesn't have to dry overnight or anything, but it will smudge a little bit if you touch it right away. I don't know if you noticed on my original one, his little eyeball got a little smudged, but I honestly don't think anybody's going to notice. So just be gentle. So this I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on. And you could definitely use the adhesive sheets on this guy as well if you wanted to. And I didn't want this one to be so long, so I chopped off part of his trunk. I just wanted it to be a tiny bit shorter. So this one, you could try to pick this up and put it underneath. No, we're just going to put it on top. We won't mess with it. Now I'm going to flip the snowman over, put a couple dimensionals on, and I definitely wanted to put one over the hat because it's only held on with a partial mini glue dots. So now he is going to be super secure. I'm going to put the snowman down, and then I cut 3 of these little stars. They are super duper tiny. And I'm just going to put a mini glue dot on the back of all 3. And you could even put, you could cut a couple more and use them as stars for the trees if you wanted to. I was debating on doing that. I think any way you put them is going to be super cute. But I just randomly put them up in the sky. So there you go. So now all we have to do is our little piece on the inside. So I put in the dimensions 1.5 by 3. You are going to want it a hair smaller than 3 because once you close this, it'll buckle at the side. It'll buckle at either side that it's closest to. And then it kind of won't make your card close all the way. So I would just make it a hair smaller than 3 inches. And I'm going to take some tear tape. I'm going to put it a full on both sides. And what I mean by full is I'm putting the whole strip on both sides. And then on the bottom, I am just going to do a half of it on. So I'm going to tear a small piece off, and I'm just going to lay half of the tear tape on. So there is a bit of a process to this card, but it is so stinking cute, and I really think it's worth it. I try not to do cards that are not duplicatable, which it is. Oh, and I'm just rolling this back on itself, just because I want a thin strip of tear tape. So I try not to do things that are too complicated and difficult, because I want you guys to be out in your craft room working and not getting frustrated. I probably wouldn't make 150 of these ones. And if I did, I would make this piece fit the exact measurement of this, so this snow piece, so I wouldn't have to piece it together. But if I'm only making a handful, it's not tragic. And I'm going to lay this down. Grab my Subway gift card, because that is the only thing I have right beside me, and slide that in. And you could definitely, I didn't bring anything besides my Mentos ink over, or I would have done maybe some real red to match his scarf, or even the Pacific Point on the inside to stamp a sentiment. And then it's a little bit less you'd have to write in there as well, but don't say I said that out loud. So there you go. Hopefully you guys liked tonight's card. It was, oh, I forgot the gems. Did you guys see all of the diamonds that I put on this one? I almost forgot. We can't have a card without belaying. And you're probably going to say, Sarah, are you really putting 10 of your diamonds on one card? And I'm going to tell you, yes, I totally am. Because we can. These are our cards. We can do with it what you want. And I wanted each snowflake to have a diamond. Do one over here. I think the diamonds literally make this card. Got one up top. And when you're doing this, you have to, if you're making multiples of these, you have to do your diamonds in a specific theme or row every single time, so you don't accidentally miss any. And I think I got all of the snowflakes. Whew, lost what it was. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed today's card. The designer series paper is in the mini catalog as well. I believe it is in the back. Yes. So this is Celebrate Everything, the 12 by 12. You get 48 sheets. So you get 4 each of all of these sheets. And this is one of them in that pack as well. You can only get it with a host credit. So if you need any information on becoming a host, or if you would like to host a party, definitely let me know so we can get you this gorgeous paper. Okay, I think we fumbled through tonight's live. I am so sorry about that. It has never happened. I had a tickle in my throat and it would not go away. But I'm sure it's just remnants of my last week of being horizontal. I was horizontal for literally like 4 days. So it does feel good to be vertical for a little bit. Anyway, if you need anything, please feel free to reach out. I have no idea what's happening on Thursday. I know the kids are all coming over. We're eating early. So if I can come out and do a live, I don't know how many of you guys would be able to watch, which is totally fine. But for the ones that might want to, cross your fingers, if everything goes as planned, I will be able to do a live on Thursday, even though it's Thanksgiving. And if you can join, welcome. And if you can't, have an amazing time with your family. And don't forget to give them a hug and a kiss, and especially those little bundles of joy. If you need anything, please feel free to reach out. If not, I will see some of you guys on Thursday. Have a good evening and happy Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.